Master Math with Addy.
Have you ever aced a math test only to forget everything a week later? It's a frustrating experience, and it happens to almost everyone at some point. You might wonder why all that effort seems to vanish so quickly, as if your brain just hit the delete button. You're not alone. Our brains are actually wired to forget information that we don't use regularly. This is a natural process, and it's part of how our memory system works to keep only what's most important. It's kind of like trying to hold on to water. It inevitably slips through our fingers unless we make an effort to keep it. The more we try to grasp it, the more it seems to escape. Over a century ago, a German psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus became fascinated by how quickly we forget things. He studied memory and discovered what's now called the forgetting curve, a graph that shows how information fades over time. His research showed that we forget most new information rapidly if we don't actively try to retain it. Without review or practice, our brains let go of details to make room for new ones. Think about learning a new language. At first, you might feel confident after a study session, believing you've mastered a bunch of new words. You memorize a list of vocabulary words, maybe even write them down or highlight them in your notes. But without reviewing those words, you might only recall about 70% of them after a day. That's a big drop in a short time. After a week, that number plummets even further, and you might struggle to remember even half of what you learned. The same thing happens with math concepts. If you don't revisit and practice them, they'll fade away just like those vocabulary words. Math is like building a tower, brick by brick. Each concept relies on the one before it. Forget a foundational brick, and the whole tower becomes shaky. This interconnectedness makes math particularly challenging to remember. Forgetting one key concept can make understanding subsequent lessons feel impossible. Adding to the difficulty is the abstract nature of math. Unlike learning about history or literature, math often feels disconnected from our daily lives. When we can't see the immediate relevance of a mathematical concept, it becomes harder for our brains to hold on to it. Don't worry, struggling to remember math concepts is completely normal, and you're definitely not alone. Many students face the same challenge, but the good news is that there are proven ways to overcome it. You can fight the forgetting curve and build a strong, lasting math memory by using a few smart strategies that really work. The key is to use techniques that help your brain store information for the long haul, making it easier to recall when you need it most, like during tests or homework. One powerful technique is spaced repetition. This means reviewing your math material over several sessions, instead of all at once. Instead of cramming, review material at increasing intervals. After 1 day, then 3 days, a week, and even a month later. This helps your brain strengthen those connections each time you revisit the topic. Another effective strategy is active recall. This means testing yourself, not just looking over your notes. Instead of passively rereading notes, try to explain the concept from memory, or write it out without looking. Pretend you're teaching it to someone else, or even record yourself explaining the steps. Teaching is one of the best ways to learn. This forces your brain to actively retrieve the information, making it stickier and easier to remember next time. Mix it up. Don't just practice the same type of problem repeatedly. Challenge yourself with a variety of questions and problem types. Interleaving or mixing different types of problems forces your brain to work harder and improves your ability to recall and apply concepts in new situations. With these strategies, you'll be on your way to mastering math. Turn your notes into a math memory journal. This isn't just a notebook. It's your personal toolkit for mastering math. By organizing your thoughts and lessons in one place, you create a resource you can always return to when you need a refresher. Summarize key concepts in your own words after each lesson. When you rephrase ideas, you're not just copying, you're making the knowledge your own, which helps your brain remember it better and longer. Use flashcards to memorize important formulas and definitions. Flashcards are a classic tool because they make it easy to test yourself and spot what you still need to work on. Digital tools like Anki can make this process fun and efficient. With spaced repetition, these apps remind you to review just before you forget, making your study time much more effective. Visualize. Draw diagrams or mind maps to help you understand and remember complex concepts. Visual learning can reveal connections you might miss with words alone, and it's a great way to break down tricky problems. And don't be afraid to get creative. Teach the material to your pet, a stuffed animal, or even yourself in the mirror. Explaining ideas out loud helps you spot gaps in your understanding and builds your confidence. Here's your challenge. Pick a math topic you learned recently. It could be something you found tricky or something you want to master. Use spaced repetition and active recall to review it over the next week. Schedule short, regular sessions and test yourself to see what you remember. This is how real learning sticks. You'll be amazed at how much you remember. With practice, your confidence will grow, and math will start to feel less intimidating. With the right strategies, anyone can build a strong and lasting memory for math. Start building your memory toolbox today and see the difference for yourself.